Hi everyone! If you're new here, I'm Aude, a writer and filmmaker. I've written novels, short films, and short stories over the years in French and English. I'm an avid plotter. I've used plot to write every single one of my novels, and I eventually learned and started to use the post-it method to plot my novels. It's very simple. You need to first get some post-its of different sizes and colors. As you can see, I got some cute ones. You can use post-its and sticky notes to mind map, i.e. to think and figure out your story or to plot a story you already have. What I mean by mind map is a diagram used to visually organize information into a hierarchy, showing relationships among pieces of the whole thing. It is commonly understood as to mind mapping being a necessary thing when you are in a very rough stage of your creative process and you lay down all your ideas, no matter how silly or bad they are, on paper. Try not to overthink it. It's important to be as rough as you can and to write everything down on paper on the sticky notes. As I've said, you can also use post-its to plot your novel, which will happen after the mind mapping session, ideally, when you already have a rough idea of what your story will be about. I don't really advise, plotting a story that you don't really know where it's going to take place or what it is about or who the characters are. It's important to try to plot something that is more worked on, something that's more tangible. So let's start with the mind mapping session. So first you have to write down on your post-its all your ideas about your novel. Gather the post-its by color. For example, you can choose one color for all your ideas related to the different characters in your story. You can also use another color for the storyline in general. So let's say from going from point A to point B to point C to point Z. And a third color for the setting, where the story takes place, an environment, and so forth. Because your novel is just an idea at this stage, you can move the post-its around and figure out what kind of stories is slowly shaping up. You don't have to write chronologically, although I often do use post-its chronologically. Once your story gets stronger, or if you already have a fairly full-out idea for your novel, you can use a post-its method to plot and outline your novel. So for that, you can start with planning everything that happens in your story by writing one-liner summary of each step of the way on post-its or sticky notes. Once again, you can choose one color for all your ideas related to characters, another color for the storyline, a third color for the setting and the environment, or the themes, or the A story, the B story, the C story, and so forth. Usually I don't necessarily write the A story, B story, C story, because for me these stories are related to characters. So if character is going through something, I'll write everything that the character is going through, and I won't simply order it as a A story or B story or C story. Then after that, you write down in each post, in each basically sticky note, 2 lines. So the first line describes an action that the character does that moves the story forward and its consequences. If, for example, you want to write the story of a baker who wants to become the best baker in the world, one action will be going to culinary school. So that's for the first line, right? The overline that I want you to write on your sticky notes are the emotional reason behind why the character does this action. If we use the example of a baker, why does the baker decides to go to culinary school. Maybe he wants to become the best baker in the world because growing up, his father belittled him and the food he made. So he wants to prove something. So you write down each action from the beginning of the story to the very end. And you write down each action and each emotional reason, and then you stick them on a wall. And one thing I like to do when I use a post-it method is to leave the sticky notes or post-its there for a couple of hours, sometimes a night, even sometimes a couple of days. And then I like to come back and I like to mix them all together, even if it doesn't, especially if it does not make sense. From then on, I would say have a look and see if the story still makes sense. If it does, maybe you should tell your story in this new order that you figured out. Or maybe you should try to mix things up a little. You can even use, different colors for different subplots. So like I've said, you write and you mix your post-its in a chronological order or in just any kind of random order as you see fit. Or you can also mix or organize your post-its following different story structure. So for example, you can organize your post-its following the 3-act structure, beginning, middle, and end, or the 5-act structure. I have explored the story structures in one of my YouTube videos, so if you want to know more about it, you can literally just click on my channel and watch these other videos. So you can also assemble the post-its according to the different chapters if you write your novel by chapters, which is something I do actually. Usually, either there's going to be a theme for my chapters. I did that with one of my novels, or it's just going to be random numbers, chapter 1, chapter 10. But I like to organize my novel by chapters. For example, for a novel I'm writing at the moment, I am organizing the chapters based on time. So, and it's going to have a big influence, right? I'm not going to tell you more about it, but that's what I'm doing. If you are blocked at certain points when you're plotting, that's okay. Let it be. It's going to help you so much with that blocking. Like, try not to force it. If you have writer's block, if you feel stuck, that's okay. You just have to accept it. And sometimes stories come up when they want to come up. Sometimes they have their own mind and they have their own, not trying to be woohoo and all of that shit, but sometimes they really are meant to arrive when they're meant to arrive. So I use a post-it methods for each of my stories, novels, and scripts, except the very short ones. And I find it very freeing because I can turn it into whatever stories I want to. For example, at the moment, I'm working on one novel, which is divided in 2 parts, with 2 characters being the main point of view for each part. And I'm using the post-it methods, and I write down the themes I want to explore in the novel, and I write down the storyline of each character according to the themes, and it really helps. And I was so stuck writing that novel, and using the post-it method really, really did help. So that's what I use to plot my novel. So tell me, have you used a post-it method to plot your novel before? What do you think of it? And what are you working on at the moment? Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, have a great time writing, plotting, using sticky notes, and I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Like the video and subscribe to my channel for more writing and filmmaking related videos. If you want to support my small business and my work, look at my website as well as my books available in most online stores. Thanks.